they work, and it is the callback function. Okay, the topic today is callback function. And in Royalq, I'm going to share my screen in a bit, but before I share my screen, I would just like to talk about a bit what it is. So this callback function is an amazing function in the Royalq app, and there are 3 callback functions. There are 3. I'm going to be explaining the 3. And now, before I share my screen, let's talk about what callback function is. In Royalq, the callback function serves as a trigger for the trading robot to take action after the market price has reversed by a set percentage. So this particular set percentage is your desired or preferable one, okay? So it's you that will choose the set percentage by yourself. It helps optimize trade either by locking in profits through selling or by securing a better entry point for additional buys. I know I'm just rambling a lot. A lot of us might not understand. That's where sharing my screen comes in. But in summary, callback function help you sell your trade at a very good price and also help you buy at a very good price. The topic is what I have been longing to have an acquaintance with. Okay, all right, so sit back. So I'm going to share my screen right now. Please, my co-host, if or whenever you cannot hear me, please let me know in time, please, so that I can shift myself or adjust myself. Very well. But please, my co-hosts, do let me know when that happens, because it's networking. Okay, so I'm launching my Royalq app, which I believe every one of us here on the Zoom, we all have our Royalq. So I'm just going to use any coin. Doesn't matter the coin. I'm just explaining a particular function that is in all trade settings. Great. Can we all hear me? This is serious. Can you hear me? See my co-host. Eh? Co-host, can you people hear me? Hey. Okay, say yes. I've been my co-host to have disappeared. Lucy, you are my co-host now. Okay. Obio is around. Obio, please, I beg. Let me know if this is my network. You will tell me welcome back where to do. Okay, so let me Let me do this first as I can. Okay, I think Ether is better. Let me switch to my Ether. Please give me a second or a minute. I think Ether is better. Let me switch to Ether. Sorry, please. Just give me a moment. You can hear me, type 1 on the chat so that we can proceed. You can hear me clearly. Please type 1 on the chat. Can you hear me? All right. Thank you, Joe Felix. Thank you. Okay, I think my Ether is better. All right. Okay. So this is the Royalq app, and this is the trade settings. Okay. This is where you have trade settings, and this is where we have the 3 callback functions. A very, very, very amazing function. Okay. So now, let me highlight the functions, the 3 functions. The first one is hold position, take profit callback. That's the first callback function. And then the second one is buy in callback. And then the third and last one is, sub position, take profit callback. Now, all these callback actually have function, and they have functions they work with. Now, let me explain. Let's cancel this. Now, first, if you look here, we have hold position take profit ratio. I believe we all know what hold position take profit ratio is. Hold position take profit ratio is the percentage you want the robot, the take profit percentage you want the robot to sell that trade at. So if you want 5%, you put in 5% here. If you want to take 3% from that trade, you put 3%. If you want to take 2%, you put 2%. So why am I explaining this particular one? It's because I want to explain that this whole position take profit callback controls, sorry. This whole position take profit callback works with whole position take profit ratio. Okay? These two, they work hand in hand together. Now we have distributed and take profit allocation. Distributed and take profit allocation. So this first one is the final sell, whole position take profit callback. Once this happens, you know that the robot is about to do the final sell, to conclude the final sell of that particular circle. If you are on circle, well, it's going to start another circle. But if you are on one shot, it's going to do the final sell, give you profit, and close the trade. That's what whole position take profit is. It controls the final sell, which is your first buy, your first call, second call, third call, and fourth call. That is what whole position take profit controls the sale of your first buy if you bought the first call, the second call, the third call, and the fourth call. So you're from your fourth call, second, third, first, and your first buy, they sell together. And it's this particular hold position take profit that controls that sale. All right, hold position take profit ratio. But this hold position take profit ratio callback works with this one. Now let's talk about distributed and take profit allocation. This is your sell for your subs, okay? From your sub from fifth to any call, from your fifth call, your sixth call, downwards to any call. This here, distributed and take profit allocation, is what controls it. So if you click on distributed and take profit allocation, I want to click on distributed and take profit allocation. You notice that it starts from the fifth call. So it is the percentage of your individual sell from your fifth call downwards. It's because my margin call drop is 7. That's why you can see 7 here. If I increase the margin call limits, rather, not drop, margin call limit. If I increase my margin call limit, let's say to 10, and I click on distributed and take profit allocation, you are going to see from 5 to 10, okay? So it controls from your fifth call downwards to any call that you set it. So hold position take profit controls this. Buy in callback controls this. And then, oh, sorry. Buy in callback controls your margin configuration. That's the buys in your margin configuration. And then sub position take profit callback controls your distributed and take profit allocation. Please, if you have any questions, you can put it on the chat. And after I would address those questions. You can leave the question on the chat. So do we understand? Hold position take profit callback works with hold position take profit ratio. Okay? Your buy-in callback, which is the buys, works with your margin configuration. And then sub position take profit callback works with distributed and take profit allocation. I'm going to explain how they work. Remember that margin calls has to do with buys, okay? That's why it says here, buy in callback. It's not sell. Because when you click on margin configuration, that table there has to do with buys. It does have, it also works with sell, but we'll get, well, it doesn't really work with sell. It's the distributed and take profit allocation that works with sell. But here it works with buys. So now let's say my whole position take profit. Okay, let's leave it at 0.3. Let's leave this one at 0.2. It's just an example. So I'm going to explain how whole position take profit callback works. The same way whole position take profit callback work is the same way sub position take profit callback work. So I'm just going to be explaining whole position take profit callback. Then you have to use the explanation of whole position take profit callback to understand what sub position take profit callback is. Now, this callback here is 0.3. Okay, so let me change this my take profits. Let's say my take profit is 3%. It's just an example. Let's say my take profit is 3%. Oh my God. Sorry about that. So let's say my take profit, my whole position take profit is 3%. Now I'm going to explain how this callback works. Once that coin pumps and gets to 3%, dollar don't enter my head. Once that coin pumps and gets to 3%, your robot doesn't sell immediately. The callback function will have to step in. This is in manual trading. Once you set 3% and that coin just pumped 3%, immediately you are taking 3%, nothing more, nothing less. But this robot is amazing. Okay, the robot is very, very amazing. It's a robot. It's artificially intelligent. So once that coin pumps and gets to 3%, your robot doesn't take that 3% immediately. It has to trigger this callback that you set, depending on your callback. Some people put 0.1, some people put 0.2, some people put 0.3. That's why you have to understand this thing so that you will know what to put yourself. In this Royalq robot, there are no rules. I say it a lot that there are no rules. A lot of you want to set rules like, oh, it must be a certain way. It don't have to be a certain way. That's why you need to understand the robot. When you understand the robot, you then use your own strategy. Because my strategy is not the same with Leader George's strategy, and his strategy cannot be ever the same with another person's strategy. Because once you know how to use the robot, you then do things that works for you. So mine is 0.3. Now let's say it gets to 0.3 and then there's a drop of 0.1%. Nothing is going to happen. And once it drops that 0.1%, after it drops 0.1%, of course, it's still going to be monitoring the market. And then from this 0.1, it pumps to 4%. It will still be monitoring the market. Nothing is still going to happen. There will be no sell. It then pumps to 5%. Nothing will happen. If it pumps to 6%, and then from that 6%, it pumps to 6%, and then from that 6%, there is a drop of 0.2%. Nothing is still going to happen. I believe some of you already know the answer. Why nothing is happening? It's not going to sell. It's still going to be waiting. There are lots of times I've set 3% in my trade. This particular one, I set 3%, and the robot gave me 18% profit. Yes. So if there's a huge spike up and there's not a drop of 0.3%, your robot is not going to sell. It's not going to take profit because your callback is 0.3%. There needs to be a reversal of 0.3% before your robot trigger and sells that coin and close the trade. Until your callback is triggered, there will be no sell. And that's why you see that a lot of times if you set 2%, you see that your robot has given you 5%. If you set maybe 1%, you see that your robot has given you 4%. Now, that's the bright side of it. Okay, that's the bright side of whole position take profit callback. Well, I won't say this is not bright, but I'm going to explain another part. Okay, so let's say that coin pumps to 3%. So let's say the coin pumps 3%, okay? And once it got to that 3%, there was a drop of 0.3%. It will then trigger and sell. But remember, you are not going to get exactly 3%. Because once you get to that 3%, the coin didn't pump again. The coin now started dropping. And it dropped to what? Your callback, which is 0.3. It's going to trigger and sell. So it's going to be selling at a percentage of 2 point something. That's why you will never see, if you set 3%, you will never get 3%. It's either you get a bit lower or higher. If you set 5%, the robots can never ever give you 5% at the dot because of this callback function. It is a very, very important function. So I believe I've been able to explain the whole position take profit callback. It's the same thing also for the distributor and take profit callback. The same explanation also goes for distributor and take allocation, which is your sub sales, your margin sale now from your 5 call downwards. But this one, remember I said it's your final sale. This one controls your final sale. So the same thing that applies here is the same thing that applies for this. It's the same explanation. So let's explain buy-in callback. Next one I want to explain is buy-in callback. The one we explained just now is the sell. How does it sell? How does the callback trigger for the robot to take profit? Now, we're going to be talking about the buys. Let's talk about the buys. Now, if the robot also wants to make buys, it will also wait for callback to trigger. That's why a lot of times in the robot, you see waiting for callback to trigger. I can't remember the exact English, but it says something like that in your trade settings, because it's telling you exactly what is going to happen next. So let me use an example. Let me click on margin configuration. I have to use margin configuration to explain it, because remember I told you buy-in callback controls margin buys, the buys in your margins. So this is exactly where it controls. Controls your margin call drop. Okay. So for example, you can see that the first call is 3.5%. Now, from where you enter the market at, you set your first buy, you enter the market. Once there is a drop of 3.5%, your robot is not going to immediately buy. It is going to trigger. And that is where your what are they even calling this thing again? Yeah, buying callback. That is where your buying callback triggers. Okay, so when there is a 3.5% drop, your buying callback has to trigger. Now, what is your buying callback? Let's check. My buying callback here is 0.2. Now, this buying callback, it's not buying when the market is going down. It's actually buying when the market is going up. Short position take profit callback. This one. this sell, when it's selling, is buying when there is a drop, like when there is a pushback. When it is doing sell, these two, sorry, this one. When they want to sell or when they are selling, is buying when there is a drop down of 0.3. That's from the highest or from the point where it gets to, it has to drop by 0.3. That's when it sells. But the buy, it's not like that. The buy is when it's going back up. So once there is a drop of 0.5, once there is a drop of 0.5, it will not buy until there is a rebound. That coin pumps by 0.2. It will then buy, because what the robot is doing is that, okay, this coin has started going back up. Let me sharply buy because now it's pumping. It has finished dropping. It now starts to pump. So it's going to buy. That's why, to be honest, I like to put mine at 0.1 because I don't want it to buy like at 0.2. I just put mine in 0.1. I know that I'm still buying a bit of the drop, but the robot enables you, because it notices that this coin is now starting to move up. So let me do that strategic buy now. So it triggers your callback, your buying callback at whatever you set it to 0.1. And then once it moves up, remember it has dropped by 0.5. Okay? Once it moves up by 0.1, it will then buy. That's when your callback function. That's why you hear a lot of people that I set my first call at 2%. This coin has dropped 2%. My robot has not bought. It's your callback function. I set my take profit at 5%. I can see 5%, but the robot have refused to sell it. It is your callback function. Because if you check, it will tell you that robot has triggered, waiting for sell, or it has triggered, waiting for buy, waiting for margin buy. So yeah, that's the explanation of the 3 callback function, which is hold position, take profit, callback. Buying, callback, and sub position, take profit, callback. And remember, controls this, controls your margin configuration, and also controls your distributor and take profit allocation. So yeah, basically, that's the simple explanation of how callback works. But remember that callback, when it's selling, it deals on when that coin is dropping, when it's dropping by the percentage you set. And when it is buying, is going up. Okay, when it's selling, is dropping. When it's buying, is going up. So yeah, that's mention of what callback, the 3 callback functions. Do we have any question? Thanks, ma, for this very easy to understand explanation. I can now set my trade by myself. Thanks. You're welcome. Dukumbo, you're welcome. Do we have any question? You can also use you can also unmute yourself and ask your question, please. Do we have any question? Do we have any question? Very explicit. Thank you, Joe Felix. Do we have any question?
No question.
Okay, you're speaking for yourself. You're speaking for yourself. Do anyone else have question? I believe
Yes.
Tokumbo.
Yeah.
I can't hear. I can't hear. Tokumbo, your network is pretty bad. I'm going to unmute you now. Your network is pretty
Line.
bad. You can.
People cannot see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr.
Can you
Anas,
hear me?
please, you can speak. Yes, Mr.
Yeah.
Anas.
All right. Good evening, Osher. Can you help me and pause the other guy? So sorry, network is really bad this evening. So when you were explaining the buy and call back, I was kicked off twice, so I didn't
Okay.
get it. Can you please explain the buy and call back again?
The buy in callback. Okay. All right. So I'm going to quickly share my screen. I'll just do that. I think it's everywhere. Like network is pretty bad today. And I think it's not even today. It's been like that for some couple of weeks. I don't know why, especially MTN. Okay. I said buy in callback. Controls margin configuration. The buy in margin configuration. That's what buy in callback controls. Buy in callback works with margin configuration. And I believe I stated the rest. So let's click on margin configuration because that's what buy in callback works with. So let's say you entered the market and your first call, you're telling your robot in this your first call, your margin drop, that if this coin drops by 3.5%, buy. Because there's a callback function, the robot will not buy immediately. It will have to trigger that callback function. The robot, there must always be a trigger for the callback. So anytime any buy wants to happen in your robot, a callback function will trigger. Anytime your robot wants to sell, whether the final sell, which is your whole position take profit ratio, or your sub sell, there must be a callback. There must be a callback function. After the first buy, let me put that there because the callback function doesn't work with first buy. Okay, it works after the first buy. So once that robot once the coin rather drops 3.5%, the callback have to trigger. That's where the callback comes in. And the callback here, like I said, I used to put my callback at 0.1 because this callback will trigger when the coin is going up. Okay? Once the coin goes up by 0.1%, your robot will then buy. But after it must have dropped 3.5%, which is your first drop. If your first drop is like 2%, that coin has to drop 2% first. If it drops down 2% first, and then it goes up a bit by 0.1%, there will be a buy. So in this one, it says 2. If the first buy is 10, that means it's going to buy $20. I believe I've been able to explain that. So I'm going to repeat for the last time. Once the coin drops by 3.5%, your robot has to enable callback function, which mine here is 0.1. Buying doesn't have to do, it's not about when it's dropping. Buying is when it's going up. Buy-in callback is when it's going up, not when it's going down. As to hold position, take profit callback. When it's taking profit, which is selling, it follows when the coin is going down. But when it wants to buy in callback, it happens when the coin is going up. So after that 3.5% drop, if that coin then moves up by 0.1%, it will buy your first call. And so it will happen consecutively. So that's it. Do you have any question? This, can I use 0.1 for both of them? Of course, you can use 0.1 for both of them. You can use 0.1 for both of them, of course. Thanks for the teaching. How do you set the percentage ratio? Your take profit? Do you mean your take? For your buying callback. It's best for me. I feel like anything beyond 0.3, don't even put it. Your callback, at least you can put your callback from 0.1, 0.2, and 0.3. But my buying callback, I like to put 0.1 because I don't want it to go all the way up before it buys. Okay? I don't want to be buying the pump. I want to make sure that I'm buying the dip. So I put 0.1 in my buying callback. But your whole position take profit callback and your sub position take profit callback, you can put anything from 0.1, 0.2, or 0.3. Some people even put 0.5. So that's it. Do we have any other question before we round up? We're about to round up. Mr. Ernest, I hope you understood the recap. Thanks for the presentation. I'm going back to work. You're welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Do you have any question? I would like to round up. You can use the chat or mute yourself. All right, thank you so much, everyone. The aim of this presentation actually is for you to understand how this thing works and to know what best can work for you, okay? So that's why I'm doing this presentation, because in Royalq, I say it a lot, there are no rules. Actually, no rules. Different people with different strategy. But if you know the basics, okay, you can then, that's why you see people manipulating the robot, because they know the basics. So they can be able to tweak it the way they want to tweak it. So I believe I've been able to explain what the 3 callbacks, but just remember that when it comes to callback, when it has to do with buying, there must be a rebound, like that coin is going up before that callback will trigger. And when it has to do with selling, that coin is going down, which is like your callback is going to trigger while going down. And when it has to do with buying, your callback is going to trigger while going up. So tell me why I want to put 0.5% as my buying callback. Because that coin is going to go up. That coin is heading up. So that means if I leave 0.1 and put 0.5, it will buy at a higher price. So yeah. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking out time to attend this Zoom presentation. Also, funny enough, we are doing these Zoom classes for you people. So if there is any topic you would like us to actually do, there's anything you do not understand, you can suggest it, and of course we'll do the topic and explain to the best of our knowledge. Okay, remember, we don't know everything. I'm still learning every day, but at least we, the leaders, will explain to the best of our knowledge. All right. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming out, taking out time to attend these classes. And then we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we have new user orientation. Make sure old members will, and especially when you have new members, make sure that they are always in the new user orientation class. Is on Friday, same time, 8:30 p.m. Make sure they are always there so that they will know how to navigate their Royalq robots. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone. My amazing co-hosts, thank you, and to every member here. The Zoom recording will be out so you can catch up on it. So we'll see you tomorrow. And good night, everybody.